Hi everyone. Welcome back to my daily English listening practice series. This is lesson number 7. And today we're going to talk about a situation that almost everyone experiences at some point in life, visiting a doctor. In this session, just one person, one male voice, will share a long, detailed monologue about describing symptoms, asking basic questions, and listening to simple instructions from a doctor. The goal is to help you improve your listening comprehension in a very practical and everyday context. Let me start by telling you a little story, something that could happen to anyone. A few weeks ago, I suddenly started feeling really tired. At first, I thought it was just because I had been working too much. I had several deadlines, I stayed up late, and I didn't sleep well for about 3 days. So naturally, I assumed the tiredness was just the result of stress. But then I noticed other symptoms. I had a slight fever, a sore throat, and a dull headache that wouldn't go away. On top of that, I felt a strange pressure behind my eyes, like I had been staring at a screen for too long. So I decided it was time to visit a doctor. Now, going to a doctor can feel a little stressful if English is not your first language, because you need to describe your symptoms clearly. But actually, you don't need complicated vocabulary. As long as you can describe what you feel, when it started, and how strong it is, the doctor can usually understand. So, let's imagine I'm walking into a small clinic. I sit down, and the doctor asks me, "What brings you in today?" This is a very common question. And I answer, "Well, I've been feeling unwell for the past few days. I've been really tired, and I think I have a mild fever. My throat hurts a little, and I've had a headache since yesterday." Simple, clear, direct. That's usually enough to start. The doctor may ask follow-up questions like, "How long have you had these symptoms? Have you taken any medicine? Are you allergic to anything? Is your headache constant or does it come and go?" And in my mind, I try to answer honestly and clearly. So I say, "The tiredness started about 3 days ago. The headache began yesterday afternoon. I haven't taken any medicine yet, except for some warm tea and a bit of honey for my throat. And no, I'm not allergic to anything that I know of." After that, the doctor might check my temperature, listen to my breathing, or ask me to open my mouth and say, "Ah." It's quite routine. While the doctor is checking, I normally try to relax and breathe slowly. After checking my temperature, the doctor tells me, "You have a slight fever. Nothing too serious, but it's important to rest. Let me also check your throat." So I open my mouth, and the doctor uses a small light to look. Then they say, "Your throat looks a bit irritated. Probably a mild infection." When hearing this kind of information, I usually feel relieved because at least I know what's happening. The uncertainty is often worse than the symptoms themselves. The doctor then continues, "You probably have a mild viral infection. You just need rest, warm fluids, and some basic medicine to help with the fever and the headache." Then I ask a very common question. "Do I need antibiotics?" The doctor shakes their head and says, "No. Antibiotics won't help with a viral infection. Just follow my instructions and you should feel better in a few days." People often think antibiotics are always necessary, but that's not true. So I appreciate when the doctor explains it clearly. The doctor often gives simple instructions like, "Drink plenty of water. Rest as much as possible. Avoid cold drinks. Take this medicine twice a day after meals. If your symptoms get worse, come back to see me." These instructions are usually very straightforward, but when you're stressed or not feeling well, it's easy to forget them. So I always pay close attention. Now, let me explain something important about describing symptoms in English. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need long sentences. You just need to express how your body feels. For example, "I feel dizzy. My stomach hurts. I have a sharp pain in my back. I've been coughing for 2 days. I feel pressure in my chest. My nose is blocked. I feel weak. I can't sleep. I feel nauseous." These simple sentences can help the doctor understand your condition quickly. Back to my story. After the doctor gave me instructions, I asked one more question. "How long will it take for me to recover?" And the doctor replied, "Usually 2 to 3 days. But make sure you rest and avoid working too much. Your body needs time to heal. This is always the part one struggle with. I like working, and sometimes I don't realize when I'm pushing myself too hard. But I know the doctor is right. So I nod and say, okay, I understand. I'll take it easy for a few days. Then the doctor gives me a small prescription. The doctor explains, this is for your fever and headache. Take one pill in the morning and one in the evening. And this one is for your throat. Dissolve it in warm water. It should help reduce the irritation. I look at the prescription. And even though the names of the medicines sound complicated, the instructions are simple, so I thank the doctor and leave the clinic. On the way home, I stop by a pharmacy. The pharmacist asks me, do you need anything else? And I say, no, thank you, just the prescription. After paying, I go home and take the first pill with a warm glass of water. Now, let me talk about listening to instructions. When you're at a doctor's office or a pharmacy, the most important thing is to catch key words. Words like twice a day, every morning, after meals, with water, before bedtime, for 3 days, take only if needed, avoid alcohol, do not drive after taking this medicine. These are the words that matter the most. Even if you don't understand every single word, if you understand these key phrases, you're usually okay. Let me give you a small example. Imagine the doctor says, take this medicine twice a day after meals. If your fever gets worse, come back to see me. Even if you don't understand 20% of the sentence, the important parts are twice a day, after meals, come back if worse. That's all you really need. Back to my story again. After resting for a full day, sleeping, drinking warm tea, and taking the medicine, I started feeling much better. The headache almost disappeared, my fever dropped, and my throat hurt less. The next morning, when I woke up, I still felt a bit tired, but I knew I was recovering. Sometimes, it's not the medicine that helps the most, it's the rest. Many people ignore this, but rest is one of the most effective treatments for mild illnesses. When I push myself too hard, even small symptoms become worse. But with proper rest, the body recovers surprisingly quickly. That's something the doctor told me. Listen to your body. And it's true, your body usually tells you when something is wrong. You just need to pay attention. Now, let me share a few phrases that you can use when talking to a doctor in English. To describe symptoms. I feel weak and dizzy. I have a sore throat. My head hurts. I think I have a fever. I feel tired all the time. I have trouble breathing. My stomach feels uncomfortable. To ask questions. Is it serious? Do I need medicine? How long will it take to recover? Should I avoid any foods? Can I go to work? How often should I take this medicine? To respond to instructions. I understand. Twice a day, after meals, right? So I should rest for a few days? Thank you. I'll follow your instructions. These simple phrases can make your doctor visit much easier. Before we end today's listening practice, I want to remind you of something important. Health is the foundation of everything. When you're sick, don't ignore your symptoms, don't wait too long, and don't be afraid to talk to a doctor. Even if your English is not perfect, doctors are used to different accents and different levels of English. As long as you communicate clearly, they will understand. Sometimes, even saying something simple like, I don't feel well, is enough to start. And that brings us to the end of today's session. This has been lesson number 7 in our series of 100 daily listening practice lessons. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this story and these phrases help you feel more confident the next time you need to visit a doctor. Take care, stay healthy, and see you in the next lesson.